Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. So this is not my normal kind of content. I'm kind of doing a blog here, but I recently acquired this late 90s desktop computer for free from a classmate in my college class. They wanted to throw it out, and I was like, no, this is beautiful. You don't want to throw this thing away. So two things. One, yeah, this is not my normal kind of content, so expect hiccups in editing and, you know, strange stuff like that. And number two, I am filming on a shitty Android phone, so it's going to look extremely bad. But I'm experimenting with my channel a bit. So all I want to do today is walk you through this machine and how I got it working, because now it has more RAM than it did when I got it, and it's got Windows XP Professional on it. So, but before we get into that, I want to just give you a little bit of a tour and a little bit of information I found on this machine. So, this is made by a company called Gateway. The logo's missing out of the socket here, but they have a little logo. I don't know what happened to them. I assume they just got bought up and put together into a bigger computer company monopoly. That's usually what happens. And I asked a little bit about it online. They used to come in these cow pattern boxes, like print boxes, which is kind of funny. This one originally came with Windows 98, I believe, if the sticker's anything to believe. And then it says it has an Intel Celeron. I don't think it's a Celeron in there, or I don't know anything about Celerons, because the CPU that's in there is really weird. But that's what it says it has. And then let's go around to the back. I can actually get you the model number here. And the reason we have it on the county fair pie eating contest table is so that I can actually show you guys all angles of this thing. So the case is loose right now. I didn't screw it back on because it's kind of a pain in the butt to get it back on, but I'll get to that. So it has it's Gateway Incorporated Micro ATX, if you couldn't tell, and it says it's a GP6 333 12/02 1998, so pretty old. It does have USB ports. I don't know if those, like, what data those can work with, like if it'll work with flash drive or USB mouse. I haven't tested that stuff yet. And then whoever had this computer before me was using phone line internet. Unfortunately, I don't have phone line internet, so I'm gonna have to get a new Wi-Fi card or something. Any of you in the comments know machines from this era, how you can get them connected to the internet, or even if I should, because it is Windows XP, there might be issues with the modern structure of the internet. So yeah, this is a Gateway machine. Let's get the case off. I'll show you inside. This is the case. It's all just one unit. It's kind of floppy, but it's pretty sturdy, you know, sturdier than most things. And yeah, this thing is tiny, so we have solid stuff going on here. This side can't see anything, so we'll rotate it around, and then here's all the internals. Pretty packed in there. There's that internet card, and then RAM, which I'll talk about later in the video. And then I put in a hard drive I got off the internet. That's like the IDE and the whatever those power cables are called again, I forgot. And it works so far. See, I'm gonna walk you through what I did to get this thing with Windows, and then yeah. Immediately after I brought this computer home, I knew I needed a hard drive for it, so I bought this one off eBay, put it in, and then attempted to see if it posted. Should probably have bought the hard drive after I knew it posted, but whatever. Alright, moment of truth, y'all. Will she post? Oh, where's the power cable? Hold on. I hear noises. Ooh. I think that's a yes. F1 key. Preparing to run system setup. Let's go, dude. Gateway. Everything seems normal. Okay, we got an error. F1 to enter setup. Check some bad passwords, check some... Okay, I have a Windows XP Professional for this thing, so... So let's see if it'll boot from that. So, unfortunately, it would not boot from that Windows XP disk, and it would not boot from a couple other disks I had. It's not because of limitations of the hardware, although Windows XP was not going to work anyway. This CD drive is either bad or can't read disks that are burned at the speed that I am able to burn them. So I did have to do a little bit of a workaround in order to get a CD booted onto this computer. Let's see, system messages. Legacy mouse detected. What do you mean legacy? This is what you're made for. Am I supposed to use the USB? Legacy. Okay, check data. System configuration data upload. Check date and time settings. Is there a problem with the battery on the motherboard? Press escape to resume. Operating system not found. But I burned one. Uh-oh. Okay, hold on. Okay, so I installed an old CMOS battery from this part's PC because it was telling me that the date and time was wrong. And it's still telling me that. I do think that the new battery is probably working though, because it would have said something else, but fix disk 0. There's an error. I'm not really sure what that is. System behavior by modifying. Okay, so yeah, the new battery's working. I need to check this boot. API CD-ROM drive. Okay. Eventually, after testing my CDs and other computers from the same era, I realized that the CD drive was bad. And most normal people would probably buy a new one or maybe give up at this point, but I have a Dell Dimension. And I can take the CD drive out of it and put it in the other computer, which I did. Okay, this is with the new hard drive plugged in. See if it'll eject. Okay, I'm pretty sure the scientific way, it clicks a bit, but what's it say? Just get drive A error, check time and date. Okay, maybe I need to plug in something still, hold on. So it's still giving me the same error even with a different... Ooh, boot from CD-ROM? Start Windows 98 setup from CD-ROM? The driver is provided by Oak Techno... Yes! So I got pretty far through installing Windows 98 and then I hit a hiccup. Apparently the one I got off the Internet Archive was not the one that could be installed with a single disk. So I got very far into the installation and then it told me it couldn't find some files. I also struggled to find a product key, so the Windows 98 CD was not going to work. I think I'll save that operating system for another computer because I want to use it one day. So I swapped over to Windows XP. Unfortunately, Windows XP did hit a hardware limit on this computer. According to what I was able to find, this gateway machine was supposed to have 64 megabytes of RAM when it came off the factory and hit the shelves. Now, somewhere along this thing's lifetime, somebody stole 32 megabytes of RAM out of this computer, and now it only had one stick of 32 megabytes remaining. That is not enough to install Windows XP or really any operating system that's worth using. So I had to buy RAM off the internet. And I bought some RAM that looked like it was the right kind. I'm not really familiar with hardware this old, so I just bought some that looked good. Also, people said there was a RAM shortage, prices were bad. I don't know, this stuff was pretty cheap. I guess it doesn't affect stuff that's below the 1 gigabyte range.
Little update, so in this special bag of a mystery is, I think, 128 megabytes of RAM. Working in megabytes is crazy. I've never worked on anything this old. So, that being said, I kind of just got RAM that looked like it would work. I didn't actually check, power consumption and compatibility and all that, because this is getting into territory of stuff that I am not familiar with. So, either I'm going to kill the damn thing or it's going to work. Now, since it was free, I'm not really too worried about breaking it because it was just going to be junk anyway. Going to get thrown away. So we're going to try and rent the RAM, but before I install it, you may have noticed it's a little dusty in here. So I'm going to blow it out with this stuff got from the office supply store. So get that sorted and then I'll be back. Alright, so I got it cleaned up as best I could. Some of this stuff is really not gonna go away with air, so maybe I'll take like some sort of cloth or something or get the rest of it out. But right now I want to get this RAM in. Now, one thing that I realized is that I have a carpeted floor and I was wearing socks. Now, normally that's not an issue for me because I'm using newer stuff, but I think with this older stuff, electrostatic problems are not as remedied by it. There's like built-in stuff that prevents electrostatic issues, so I'm wearing shoes, and I'm going to use the stupid nerd wristband thing that these kits come with, and hopefully that'll reduce problems with installing the RAM. But before that, let's look at what RAM we have here. Alright, so it says, I don't know if the shitty Android camera is going to focus on it, but it's 128 megabytes. I thought I ordered 2 sticks of 64, so this is a lot of RAM. So this is, what's 128 plus 128? 256? Just 256 megabytes of RAM. So, we'll see if this guy can handle it. I don't know if it can. We'll see what it does. So let's swap the RAM out. There's the old stick. It's a 32 megabyte. You guys can't see it, but it was 32 megabytes. I think there was supposed to be 2 of those, but they didn't come with 2. Now, as you can see, the holes line up. So I'm thinking maybe we'll get lucky here. It is a huge upgrade. But maybe maybe it can handle it. Alright, so quick story. I had 2 sticks of 128 megabytes in there. Okay, it's the same error it's always been doing. If anybody knows how to fix the check date and time settings error, I replaced the CMOS battery and it's still doing that. But I put both 128 megabyte sticks in there, and then it didn't post. It would, it would make power sounds, the power button would light up, but it didn't post. So I was like, my RAM must be bad. Or I picked the wrong RAM. So I took both of the sticks out, put the old 32 megabyte stick back in, and then it posted. It got to this screen again. And then I was like, well, shoot, I'm not going to be able to do anything with 32 megabyte. I'll be back where I started. So I was like, fuck it. Let's throw a 128 megabyte stick in there with the 32 megabyte and see what we have. And it looks like it doesn't understand the other stick of RAM I put in there. So my RAM is completely bad, as far as I can tell. Well, not bad, but wrong kind of RAM. So I'm basically back where I started. It's weird that it'll let me boot with a foreign RAM in there, though. It just doesn't register it. I'm not smart enough to know why. So, I guess I gotta get different RAM. Okay, it has one stick of, memory decreased in size error. 128 megabytes. Okay, it works with singular stick of 128 megabytes of RAM. I will take that. We are getting Windows XP. So now, problem is, this was Windows 98. When I got it off the Internet Archive, I was smart enough to write down the security key. Now, Windows 98 didn't work. Straight up didn't work. So we're moving on to XP. Very good at labeling. I have this CD named Win XP 32-bit, and this one named Win XP Pro x86. I don't have the key for either of these. I forgot to write it down. I don't think either of these were off the Internet Archive either. There is a couple sites where you can get keys for specific versions of Windows. I think I found like a GitHub repository or something. So, but I just want to make sure it'll actually install. It's weird that this won't do 2.6 and 128, but we're going to install Windows XP today. The x86 one, because it says Pro, and we are professional. So I'm going to start that. Alright, the computer is getting pretty noisy now, but I assume that'll settle down once I finish the installation. It's asking for a name and organization. I'm going to go with and log. And the organization is going to be YouTube.com. Nah, maybe not .com. We'll just keep it YouTube. See what else they ask me. Aha! Product key. Okay, this is the hard part. So, in newer versions of Windows, meaning 7, 10, 11, there's a way to bypass the product key screen, and in fact, I have a way to pirate keys for those versions of Windows, but I don't have a way to pirate an XP key. Now, I do think I know what XP I have, so I'm going to go surf the web, see if somebody has a key lying around that they'd be willing to share with me. Alright, so I found the famed GitHub repository. Shout out to this place. I think I'll have the link in the description. And I have Service Pack 3. So I just used the number right at the top there. And we got to go see if it works. Ball mouse. Hooray. It won't go right. Okay. Thank you, GitHub. If you guys want to use this website, I'll put it in the description. And she's successfully installed. Again, sorry about the noise. This computer is very loud. And I'm surprised it works on this new display. Well, relatively new. It is VGA though, so I guess I shouldn't be that surprised.
Take a tour for Windows XP? No thank you. I'll just find things myself. I am running with a ball mouse that had heavy use throughout the years. This is not mine. I'm borrowing this, so navigation is pretty much impossible. But I want to show you guys the system information, like what this thing is running. There's media player. So there's no search. Now, I thought Windows, I've used, the version of Windows XP I've used does have a search. But that's okay. We'll find the system information somewhere. Movie Maker? Dude, this comes with Movie Maker. Okay. All program, oh. Well, I don't know what the fuck I just clicked on. Oh, Movie Maker. Nice. No, thank you. I have Sony Vegas. Printers and faxes. Control panel. Boom, baby. Okay. Got control panel. One of these days I'll get a capture card or something I can hook up to these monitors so I don't have to just hold my phone. So we're looking for would it be performance and maintenance? I want to know what the system information is. System. Page cannot be. Yeah, well, guys, I'm not trying to go on the internet here. Hold on. Where was control panel? Why is command prompt an accessory? Oh wait. System tools. System tools. System information. There we go. This is the... Well, there's nothing here. Oh, there we go. Okay, so... We have a... Let's make this larger. We have 128 megabytes of RAM. It says 42 of that is available to us. Virtual memory. Total virtual memory is 2 gigabytes, so I think that means stuff off the hard drive. Or something like that. There's the BIOS. Processor is a x86 Family 6 model stepping 0 Genuine Intel. Whatever the fuck that is. It's a gateway system. It's a gateway G633C. Version 5.12600 Microsoft, whatever. So that's all the internals. And that's gonna be pretty much it. All I really wanted to do with this thing is install Windows. I gotta put this hard drive back, and I gotta put this one back in here, and then button it all up, make sure that hard drive's secure. Inside the hard drive that this is actually running on is pretty loose, and yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do with this machine. I don't think it can be any sort of retro gaming anything, because it is like the worst specs ever. Maybe I could play like Commodore 64 shit on here. I don't really know. But maybe it is a good tower to do something with. If you guys have any ideas, let me know down in the comments. And thank you for doing this journey with me.